Good morning, everybody.
All
I
right,
think I'm not.
multitasking.
What's that, Kevin?
I was multitasking.
No, I saw. Um, I think Rand is not with us today, which is kind of a shame. But he was not in the earlier classes either. Um, anyway, let's go ahead and do a form, and then I want to play. I want to show you a page off the new website and play you a couple of videos and talk a little bit. These are historical videos. There's one of Master Feng. There's one of Yamaguchi, and there's one of my teacher, Master Zhang, back in 1991, I think. He's
Cool.
still a young man. Um, so I want to look. I just want to play maybe the first section of each of those. Two of them are the 24, and one of them is 83, but the first section's the same anyway. I want to play those to um, to show a little bit how everybody does the form a little bit differently. And the same person will do the form differently on Thursday than he did it on Wednesday. And definitely it will change over time. So what he did in 1990 is going to be very different from what he does in the year 2000. That, of course, drives everyone nuts, particularly maybe in the first 10 years of your practice. Then after a while, you get used to it. You just realize, well, these are actually, how can I say? Um, in the website, I say something like that. It's like, everybody does the form, every master does the form differently, but it's always the same. It's like a human being is a human being. They change their clothes all the time, they can look very different, but actually, if you really understand deep down, it's actually the same. Right? The bones are the same, the organs are the same, everything's really the same. That's a human being, right? All right, let's go ahead and do the form, and then we'll check in on these videos. And I don't know whether Rand's going to be back by tomorrow or not, but we won't go ahead today. We'll just do a little practice. So let's just practice all the way from the beginning. There's Rand. Rand, you're at somebody else's house.
Yeah, I'm traveling. That's why I was late.
Okay. I figured you were. Well, good. I'm glad you joined us because we're going to watch some videos that I think hopefully will be enlightening. Let's do it again. Kevin, how is your knee doing?
I stayed off it all week, so it's doing better.
Is it good or is it just better?
Well, we've been through this in the past. Every time something changes in my body posture, then the rest of the body has to reset, and it hurts like hell.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way it goes. Well, let's give you another week off then. Susan, why don't you lead us?
Okay.
All righty then.
Rand's still going, so we're watching him. We're
Cool.
watching you, Rand.
That's good.
There's a discrepancy between you and Susan. So.
Yeah, well, sorry about that.
Tomorrow we'll work on that section into the tornado kick. It's very simple. So you all may have noticed that I was moving very quickly in the form that I was doing after all that talk about moving very slowly. You sort of have to feel the day when you practice.
Mhm.
Today, for God knows what reason, I feel good. My joints don't ache. My back feels good. I feel like I'm 40 years younger than I did yesterday. I have no idea why, but I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. And my body just felt like doing the form a little faster today, so I did. I let it. But one of the things that I'm thinking, I was trying to play with it a little bit today, is I need to use my knees more, and by that I mean I'll show you. Here's the way we usually do the warm up shoulder circles, right? The double circles. Here's the way we used to do them. The biggest muscles in your body are in your thighs and your butt. So if you want some exercise your thighs and your butt. All right? Now, when I'm doing it kind of the civilian version, well, I am moving them. They are moving. But it's about 10% of what it could be. That takes a lot more effort. And in the public classes, I really soften that because we have a full range of people, and for many of those folks, the deeper squats would be very difficult and potentials. So you do, but for me personally, I need to start practicing down a little bit from time to time. So that's I'm bringing that up because if you remember last time we talked about when you practice with an agenda. What are you going to do today? You probably can't do everything every day, so maybe just pick one thing that you're going to work on today. By the way, I haven't really talked about that, but that is a real trick of practice. Pick one principle, pick one thing that you want to work on. That you know about, but you haven't got it down. Pick that and work on it, and just work on it for a week or two, and you will almost certainly get it. May take a week or two, but you'll get it, and you'll know you've got it when you've forgotten about it. You just go, oh well, I actually am practicing down. I don't even think about it anymore. All right, then go on to something else, rather than trying to do 3 or 4 different things at the same time. Anyway, let's watch these videos. Make yourselves comfortable. I'll cue them up here. Okay, this is the new website. All right, so there are 5 pages on it. This is the learning page. And if you were to scroll down, you'll see that each class has its own page, and it's going to have the videos and the documents that you need, etc., etc. But they're all password protected. So if you were to go to the first one, you're just going to get a password protected thing. And right now, I'm not going to hand out the password for these because there's nothing behind them yet. I haven't fill those in. What I wanted to look at was some of these historical videos. We've got Grandmaster Feng doing the 24. We have Master Zhang doing the 83, at least maybe the first 2/3 of it. Hiroyasu Yamaguchi doing the 24 again, and we're just going to watch those three parts of those three. So let's start with Master Feng.
陈氏太极拳24式，适于老年人锻炼。现在我们看到的是冯志强老师的表演。冯志强老师为我们表演的是陈氏太极拳24式。陈氏太极拳24式适于老年人演练。 我们现在场上看到的是冯志强老师的表演。冯志强老师表演的是陈氏太极拳24式。陈氏太极拳24式适于老年人演练。
Okay, I hate to do it, but I'm going to stop it there. And let's go on to Yamaguchi. Again, I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to stop him. I know. I just want to keep watching, but let's talk about this.
Let's look at Mr. Zhang.
We're going to have to save Master Zhang for tomorrow. He's not doing the same form. He's doing the 83. He's doing our form. And I think actually it'd be better to separate them and to watch that separately. This is a video from 1990, 91, something like that. So he's still a quote unquote young man. He's only 65, something like that. Anyway, it's very interesting to see that 83. We're definitely going to have some stuff to talk about, but I want to take a couple of minutes and talk about this. So you have two practitioners, Master Feng and Yamaguchi. They're both very, very good, but they're very different.
Yeah.
The bones underneath are the same. The organs are the same. There's a heart and there's lungs and etc. But boy, you just go to completely different places watching them. They're both wonderful, but they're completely different, right? Give me some thoughts, some impressions that you have. Susan, any thoughts you have?
I think that Yamaguchi's style is much more sort of meditative. I mean, it certainly is slower, but it's also very, very deliberate, you know.
Deliberate, yes. Yes.
And at the same time, I love watching Master Zhang just because he's so fluid. I mean, it's like he doesn't have any bones. He's just all over the place. It's just beautiful.
He's just very fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah, fluid is exactly the word that comes to my mind too when you watch him. But let me tell you, he does have bones.
Oh yeah.
If you had touched, it's called touching hands. If you had touched hands with him back in the day, he feels very fluid until you're on the ground. Right?
Right.
Now he wouldn't have put you on the ground, Susan, but you would have felt he was tremendously powerful. Master Feng was not a big guy. He was only 5'7", but he somehow seemed much bigger than that. But yeah, those are the words I use too, Susan. Master Feng's very, very fluid. Master Yamaguchi is very deliberate, very meditative. It's really, to me, it's amazing to watch Yamaguchi because he has thought through all this.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he's doing is the result of contemplation and thought. What am I doing and how am I doing it? And he's making decisions that are not exactly the same as Master Feng's decisions.
Yeah.
He's moving his feet. He's making decisions to do things in certain ways that are quote unquote non-traditional, but they're also very effective. They're very good. Kevin, any thoughts?
Well, it looks like if I had one word for each, one was internal, one was external.
Who do you see as external?
Grandmaster Feng, because you could see every circle around his Dan Chen. You could see every weight shift. You could see all of his opening and closing, and then Yamaguchi, it was like, okay, it's there. It's really, really hidden.
It is, and yet if you watch him and watch Kevin, I know exactly what you mean. That's another way of saying what I think Susan just said. Yamaguchi's very, very meditative. It's kind of very internal. Master Feng it's much more about the martial art, and yet I can tell you, Yamaguchi. I don't know the guy. I don't know his story. But I'm sure that he has experience in the martial arts because nobody picks things up and does things the way he's doing them who does not have a lot of previous experience. So, for instance, he does this, right? All right. That's absolutely legitimate, but it's very different than the way that you see most people do that in Shen Village, right? He's stretching his body out like a rubber band and then pop, letting it go again, right? Stretch it out, pop, and then comes in. That's exactly what you would really be doing in real life. And when he does it, it's really beautiful. He's a very beautiful performer, but he's only choosing to do those more extreme moves occasionally, just once in a while.
If you watch
Fran,
him,
what's that, Kevin?
if you watch him, if you watch any various different martial arts, I always look at their stances.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Feng has one stance. There's a Silat woman that has just an incredibly solid stance. Yamaguchi has the Japanese stance. I mean, his I don't know if you can see it. Instead of being out like this, he's in. He's straight down like a pillar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can really see. I'm who knows what, maybe Okinawan karate or something, but he's got some real experience with Japanese martial arts. Ram, what about you? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with a lot that's been said here. To add, I think Yamaguchi is very patient, and that's similar to deliberate. But he's like, yeah, we don't have to finish this move at this second. Like I'm gonna take the time I need in order to complete what I want to present here. And like it's not he's not like on the clock. He's like, yeah, I'm doing this step. I finished. Now I'm doing that one. I finished. Like he's in no rush for anything, and I
Yeah,
think that's interesting. Like he completes the move as much as he wants to, and it's like for a moment he's just like going down, going deep, and like completing the move, then it's fine by him. He's not like, oh no, I have to constantly show progress or show movement. It's just not in his
yeah.
style.
It's,
And
it's, yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, and with Fong, he like he doesn't intend it in this way, but it feels very powerful. Like it kind of feels like if someone like got there in the middle by accident, they would be destroyed. And it's not like he's trying to be very violent or very young, but you can just tell that like there's a lot of like energy there that could be applied if necessary.
Yeah. Well, I agree with everything everybody has said. Ran, that's really well put. I think that's true of Yamaguchi. Watching him is for me a real revelation and really makes me think about what I'm doing or failing to do when I'm doing it. That he just, I mean, he's the Zen master of no temple. So being a Zen master helps. Nevertheless, it's like, yeah, what are you doing when you do the form? What are you doing when you play the Rachmaninoff Third Piano Concerto? What are you doing? It's not just about the technical. It's about where your mind is at. And Randy, that's a really good way to put it. He's taking his time. I'm going to complete this move the way that I like, and that's just the way it is. And watching him, he's very beautiful. It's very Japanesey, and it's very Zen. But everybody's got their thing. So, Rand's got one thing, Susan's got another, I've got one thing, and Kevin's got another. We come out of our personal and cultural contexts, and I think you have to respect those. Master Feng would not. It would be ridiculous for him to try and copy Yamaguchi. But equally, it's ridiculous for Yamaguchi to try to copy Master Feng. And yet, what most people try to do is copy Master Feng, but not Yamaguchi, because he's well established in his own personhood, in his own particularities. And everybody's particularities are fine. It's just fine, right? You're somewhere on these spectra. The question is, do you know it? Do you know where you are? And can you bring that to your performance? All right, let's pick it up again tomorrow. We'll watch Master Zhang do the 83, and I'll try to leave a little more time because this is a little longer tape, right? But I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.